So Andrew, you just had a Willca experience. How was for you?
Pretty wonderful. I was surprised I didn't purge at all,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I got a lot more of the effects as a result. At first I was like tingling and felt like I was floating upwards, and then the flashing lights
Mm-hmm.
with like a distinct shape that I can't really describe. It's kind of like a cross but with angles spinning around.
Could be Chacana cross, like stepping crosses.
Let me see again. Maybe kind of like this one but more angles. Maybe like
Okay.
yeah. And I don't recall much more from the eyes closed. I know I had really intense visuals, but it's hard to even recall what it was right now. But when I opened my eyes, looking up at the trees, it was like a symphony of blue and green, like waving lights. Like it wasn't even trees. It was just like this waving of lights, blue and green, and maybe the trees, the lines, kind of like separated pieces of a kaleidoscope.
So you see a different aspect of the trees.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, it was like all the colors had blended together, and there was like pieces, like a round circle that was like a clock has.
Open eyes.
Oh, that's yeah, open
Oh.
eyes, yeah. And that was cool. And then I went back into closed eyes, and I went from having my hands like on my body to like touching the earth, and that was really nice to just like feel and kind of be playful with the earth like that and like touch things. And then once I like had, I guess like the ability to like kind of think about what I was doing, because the first part I was just sort of like in a trance, I like thought I want to touch Mimi's ring and I want to see like what that's like. And so I touched it, and then I laid back down, and like sure enough, like I got like these childhood memories.
Wow.
Or,
Wow. So again, it's like a portal. Like for Ellen, she hears that trumpet and bring you back into that memory. You touch these, and it brought you to some state.
right, and that's what I wanted. That's why I have it on. But I mean, to keep her with me
Mhm.
always. But like, I had to.
You can
at
feel
least
it's.
the thought, like, let me try this, and yeah, I had several memories that I can remember in a normal state, but then some when I was even younger, and I can't. It was just so nice to feel her warmth and touch, and she didn't speak, but like, I could feel like the emotion and warmth. That was really nice. And then, I think I just laid and watched the trees sway back and forth for a while, and they were kind of that like cartoonish swaying. And I looked at the mountains over there, and they had all sorts of faces and moving around, and that was a lot of fun. And these two, the terraces were moving around, and that was fun to just like watch for a while.
So everything was alive. Huh?
Everything was alive. Yeah,
alive.
everything was alive. I try not to focus on the ground too much when I'm tripping. I like the sky and the
Mm-hmm.
clouds and the mountains. I'm sure I could have gone into Bugland, but I just chose not to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from like the laying down, that was it. But like once I got up, I wanted to go to see where Sarah was. I wanted to go down to the river and go find her. So I went down to the river, and I had my offering. And at first I went to where she showed me, and I put a couple flowers. Oh, sorry, let me back up. Getting down to the river, you had to go through that like sort of like tunnel of bushes.
You went through a really bushy route.
Did I not go the right way?
I mean, there was another route that wasn't so like.
Anyway, I had to like duck down, and I kind of felt like you said, you're like a cat, and I had to kind of like.
I saw him as he was like coming out.
And this thing kind of came at me, but I was like, oh, this is an offering from the earth, so I'm gonna take this. This is my stick now. So I carried it with me, and then I said, permiso, 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 to let me in. And I got down to the river, gave the offering of a couple of flowers, watched it go, said a prayer, and then I went down further to the other part of the river, and I sort of like squatted down and did like a longer prayer, gave the flowers, gave the shells with its own special prayer, and the stick where I set it in the water kind of like created like a little like gate, like it was a guardian. And so as the flowers went through, they kind of got stuck there, and I was like, oh, permiso, and I let it go. And then the second set of flowers, they actually slid right through. They were like the snake, just slithering through. And then the seeds, yeah, they came and they went, and that was really special. And then as I was coming back up, I saw Maury, and he was still in his own place and just said hola amigo and let him wander. And I sat there for a minute looking at all this, just in awe and beauty, because things were still moving and taking shape. And then I went back the crazy way that I came through the tunnel, and it was harder going up, and I was like struggling. And then I thought again about our friend Fernando, and he said, if you need to contact me, you can. And so I contacted him, and I said, Fernando, I need to channel the Jaguar right now. We went on a road trip with him, and in his van he has the Jaguar, like stuffed animal in the front, and he always rides the Jaguar and like this animal. And so sure enough, Fernando was there. He was happy to offer me the Jaguar, and I went like right up through the tunnel up the hill like a Jaguar, and I was like felt very energized and like very stable. And I got up to the top and I thanked him. I'm good, you have the Jaguar back. And then I came here, and things have become like more clear, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more thing that was so cool. When I asked you for the coca, because I thought things were coming more clear, I asked you for the coca, and I chewed the coca, and I closed my eyes, and right when I started to taste the minty sweet flavor, there were some figures that were a little scary at first, but you told me I should just let them see what they had got to offer. And sure enough, they offered me a ride on a bird, a condor.
Wow.
And there were symbols, all this stuff, as like, you know, the gates opened very slowly, so I had to like really wait it out. But the gates opened slowly, there's all these symbols, and then sure enough, there was a condor, and we flew over there by the mountain.
Oh my
God. We
God.
flew over there by the terraces, and then we sort of just kind of came back here.
So they give you a ride.
They gave me a ride. An aerial view, and I gave it to probably the best part of the whole experience was taking the ride on the condor. And like it kind of came back here, and I opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, that was cool. And I was like, I wonder if I could do it again. I was like, no, let me just count my blessings.
Right.
I got a ride. That was really nice of them to give me a ride. I'm gonna sit here, and then I was like, if y'all want to try coca, that, you know, and she tried it. I don't think she got the same experience, but still, like, that was super cool.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I think that's
Wonderful.
what I have,
Thank you.
yeah.
This is gonna serve a lot for my book.
Oh, good.